Let's hope that something in here is better than what's in here, because that looks wrong. Brilliant. Fail, fail, fail. Great. Just great. Best day ever. So day 631. As you may have seen from last week, we made a hell of a mess. Did not properly dial in the ARCCAPTAIN MIG welder and created some pretty ugly welds on our subframe connectors. So in anticipation of trying to correct whatever may be wrong about what we have set up, what I did first was to remember that what I bought originally was 035 wire. That's a little heavier than what is typically run. So I did purchase some 030 and some 023. Typically 023, from what I understand, is used more for very thin sheet metal and very light metal as far as thickness. 030 is the preferred thickness of wire. And when we do that, that means we have to change out the roller from what we have in there now, which is a 0.9 to a 0.8, which would be for the 030. We're going to start with that change, going to a smaller wire first, because if we do that, that's what generally everybody agrees should be used in the first place. So I don't remember which one is which. This might be the 023 wire. Yeah, so this is the 023 wire. I got a smaller spool, but I didn't know because I didn't know how much I was going to actually need for that. So I have that. I am very tired today, guys. I'm on a very specific, strict diet with very specific calorie counts each day, so I don't have as much energy as I would like. So this is the 030. Had quite a few recommendations for Blue Demon in the group. So that's why I went ahead and got this particular brand. It was not as expensive as some of the other brands like Lincoln, and there was a couple other ones that were super expensive. So we're gonna go with this. We're gonna start with that first. Now obviously when you change out your wire, you have to change out the diameter of your tip. Now, in anticipation that what was wrong with my situation was the tip, which was really screwed up, I purchased replacement 035 tips. I also have, this one is an 030, so we're going to start with that one. And then I also bought additional replacement consumables, because even if you do everything right, your tips and nozzles and such are going to need to be replaced. So I have in here, these actually seem a little long because they're from Yes Welder, so these may be incorrect. I may have to send those back. These also seem a little long. Those may be incorrect. I may have to send those back. These are from Lincoln. These seem to be the right length. Let's see. So the ones from Lincoln Excuse me. We have a horrible weather day today. It's just gloomy and rainy and gray. Okay, so these, well, these are 035s. These are replacements I got for the bigger one, and these are the right lengths. And these are certainly not the right lengths. So, do I have anything else that I bought? No. Great. Wait. Oh, I got something in here. Let's hope that something in here is better than what's in here. Because that looks wrong, and that looks wrong. But that's what you do. You try to think about what might be right. You try it out. You buy it. You order it. Amazon. Doesn't work. You send it back. So in here, this says, oh, when I was first looking, I wasn't paying attention. These are the correct brand. See that? But these are for a plasma cutter. Brilliant. So, as I don't have an ARCCAPTAIN plasma cutter, and I don't plan on doing any more plasma cutting, those are not very helpful. And here's, of course, the plasma cutter nozzles. So, fail, fail, fail. Somewhat of a success, but these are for the larger original wire I was using before. So these also have to go back. Great. Just great. Best day ever. So the Lincoln ones seem to be right. These are all incorrect, and I'll have to go back to the Jungle website. So there you go. That's how that works. This section we won't actually be using because our captain uses this, so I need to get some more of these just to have backups, just in case. So this I won't be using because that screws on and there's no screw there. This is actually a push-on tip. So I have one extra of those and one extra of those and then a bunch of 35s, I think. Let me check. Oh, wait, yeah, 35. So these are all 35s. All right, so let's put this back in here. So we have to decide what we're going to do. Are we going to pull the 35 wire out and switch to 030, which I have one usable tip for? That's a 40. Definitely not using that one. Okay, so that's a 030. That's interesting. That's an 030 tip that looks to have been used. But how could that have been used if I didn't ever had... Oh, that's weird. All right, so this says 030 on it. And this says 030 on it. So far we have two usable tips for 030. These are 035s. So we're going to put them back in here. So the decision we have to make is, should we try to go back to welding with the exact wire we had before with a new tip? Or should we change out the spool completely and go to 030 because that's lighter wire? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to do. Let us first try to resolve. And the other thing I did in order to not continue to ruin final pieces on the car, sorry, was I went and purchased some raw steel so I can do some more practicing before I actually work on the car. So what I purchased from Louis. Okay, so these are 03. These are, okay, how do I stay organized here? Let's put these guys here, like that. This guy that's boogered up goes in there. And this guy, which is way too big, we're going to put that in there. Perfect. All right, and then our other consumables that we know we're going to need go there, and that goes there. And all you guys can just chill out over there. So I bought some steel. This is 12 gauge. This is 1/4 inch. This is 1/8 inch. This is, you know, if I'd have turned this around, I probably could have read these better. Let's try that, shall we? Dummy. Okay. 12 gauge, 1/8 inch, 1/4 inch. What the heck? 3/16 by 2 foot by 2 inch. So 3/16 and 1/4 inch again. So what I'm wanting to do with these pieces is I'm wanting to practice back what I was doing when I was in the Fabulous Welding School, was practice this butt joint. Not a butt joint, actually, it's a lap joint, because that's going to be super important in what I'm doing on the subframe connectors, as well as maybe drill some holes and practice plug welding to get a better idea of how that's going to work so I can dial in the machine. The key is getting the machine set correctly. Once the machine is set correctly, everything else will flow well, because if you don't have your machine right, if your machine ain't right, your life ain't right. So again, and you just continue to be frustrated. And instead of stopping when it started going bad last week, I just powered on thinking that I would improve my technique and that would solve the problem. It didn't solve the problem. Things got worse and I just got a little frustrated. And yeah, so this is what I'm looking to do. These are the beginning of the class. These are much better. This is what I'm looking and hoping to be able to replicate, is that right there. Right there, somewhat of that, like that. If I can get, again, for me, aesthetically, I'll feel better about what I'm doing if I can achieve this result than what I did at the beginning, which is this garbage here. Or at the very beginning, when I was doing that. That's terrible. Now this is a what I consider a mock-up of the frame rail, which is here, and the subframe connector coming over top of the frame rail and that side plate on top of it, and then having to get down in there and get across there. That's the weld I need to achieve on that side of the subframe connector. That's important. And then the plug weld, being able to do a plug weld correctly, will also help, because I've drilled holes on the side to give it even more strength here and here. So that's our goal, is to, by this weekend, have those subframe connectors in, done, looking good, correctly welded, proper penetration, and ready to go. Whether or not we can achieve that is up to me and my amount of patience, which I don't have a lot of this day. So, all right, so let's kind of, what are we going to do about the wire? We never made a decision. Let's go ahead. Clearly there was something wrong. And I don't think it was the temperature. Because the machine knows how to feed properly based on the temperature you set. So I'm wondering if I was just using too heavy a gauge of wire. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the 035. I'm going to put in the 030. I'm going to put in the 030 tip, which I have 2 of. I need to order more of these. And I have no 023 tips except for 1. So I have backups when we get through this, and that's what I think we're gonna do. We're gonna switch to 030 wire. That's what we're gonna do.